Luke 22:14 through 20 describes the Last Supper that Jesus had with his disciples before he was murdered on Passover. It says Jesus divided up bread and wine and served it to his disciples, saying the bread represented his body and the cup represented the New Testament in his blood. This event has been celebrated by the Roman Church since 1545 in a ritual called Mass, which means dismissal. This ritual, or Christian rite, is also known as the Eucharist, or the memorial of Christ's Passover, and it's observed in Catholic churches every Sunday, including Easter, Christmas Day, and All Souls Day, which is the day after Halloween. In Protestant churches, this ritual is also observed either every Sunday, every week, every month, quarterly, or once a year on Passover. In the Catholic Church, the ritual itself consists of the holding of the golden cup, which is also called the Holy Chalice. This Holy Chalice represents the Holy Grail, which was said to have been literally the cup used to collect and store the blood of Jesus as he was suffering, bleeding, and dying. So during this ritual, Christians gather in their churches to pass around this cup, a cup full of the blood of Jesus, some of them drinking it. They smile, laugh, and socialize at this ritual, and most of them, I'm sure, have no idea what they are really doing. They are, each of them, holding the cup of Babylon in their hands. In Revelation 17, verse 4, it says, Babylon the Great holds a golden cup in its hand that is full of abominations. And it also says in verse 6 that Babylon is drunk on the blood of the saints and the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. So the golden cup that Babylon holds in its hand is full of the blood of the saints and martyrs of Jesus. In previous videos, we looked at what Babylon the Great is. It's a group of God's people who worship false gods, who make the whole world worship these false gods with them, who believe they are married to a king who is not dead. This is primarily the Roman clergy headquartered in Vatican City, which sits on all three Abrahamic religions of Christianity, Judaism, and even Islam. The prophecy tells us these people are deceived by a strong delusion, one of those delusions being that they are worshiping the true God, while the truth is that they are actually worshiping the beast. And this is explained in Hosea 13, 4 through 8, Daniel 7, 3 through 7, and Revelation 13, 2. Isaiah 1, 11 and 14 says that God hates their feast days and does not delight in blood. The cup representing Jesus' blood is not only Babylon's cup of blood, it is also the cup of blood that King David refused to drink in Psalm 16:4. He said this cup of blood is in honor of another god, in other words, a false god. Drinking blood is forbidden in Genesis 9:4, so why would Jesus want his disciples or anyone to even pretend to do it? Most Christians will say that Jesus instructed them to do it in John 6:53 through 56, where he tells his disciples that they must eat his flesh and drink his blood to be saved. But he was not referring to his actual body, and he wasn't referring to a symbolic cup either. He explains this right after in verses 60 through 66. In verse 65, Jesus said that no man can come to him except it were given to him of the Father. This is a reference to John chapter 14, verse 6, which says, Jesus said to him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father but by me. So when Jesus told them that they must eat and drink him in order to be saved, he was saying they must consume the way, the truth, and the life before they can come to the Father. In Matthew 26, 26 through 29, Jesus told his disciples to eat the Passover meal in remembrance of him. This was a reference to Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread, not Mass or communion. Many Christians will also cite the writings of Paul as proof that the sharing of the cup of blood is a good thing, but Paul himself said that he was a false apostle in 2 Corinthians 11, 12 through 17, and that what he speaks, he does not speak after the Lord, but instead he speaks it foolishly. Jesus explained in Matthew 13, 10 through 15 that he always spoke in parables because some are not meant to understand, that in seeing they would not see, and in hearing they would not hear nor understand. In Matthew 23, 25 through 33, Jesus said, Woe unto the hypocrites, who make clean the outside of the cup and platter. Within, he says, that cup is full of extortion and excess. They appear beautiful outward, but within are full of dead men's bones and uncleanness. They appear righteous, but within are full of hypocrisy and iniquity. All of this sounds very much like Babylon the Great, who holds a golden cup full of blood and filth. But there's a big clue in verses 30 through 33. Jesus says these hypocrites say that if they had been in the days of their fathers, they would not have been partakers with them in the blood of the prophets. And Jesus says that this shows that they are witnesses unto themselves, that they are the children of them which killed the prophets. So he says to them, "Fill ye up then the measure of your fathers, you serpents." This is a clear reference to the filling up of the cup of Babylon. The measure of their fathers refers here to the blood of the prophets. In other words, Jesus was saying to them, the witnesses, drink Babylon's cup. Just as it says in Revelation 14, 8 through 10, Babylon falls because it made all nations drink from its cup. And it also says that those who drink this cup are those who worship the beast. And again, the beast is Yahweh, as explained in Hosea 13. So when they revere the cup at Mass, or when they pass the cup at the memorial, or when they drink the cup at communion, they're not honoring the life and teachings of Jesus. They are simulating a vampiric act. Everyone who holds the cup of blood in their hands are participating in a ritual that presents them as Babylon the Great. An angel says of them in Revelation 16:6, "For they have shed the blood of saints and prophets, and you have given them blood to drink, for they are worthy." For more information and scriptural proof concerning the identity of the beast and Babylon the Great, see the videos linked here. I hope you're doing well, and I'll talk to you next week.